time for budget. Hello and welcome to a new sub-series on the Critical Coffee Considerations channel. Budget options, budget coffee and accompanied devices. The first episode will be on a device generally known as the most important one, being the grinder for your coffee, and the budget option I found in this case MediaMarkt. I'm not affiliated with anyone, so I'm not really doing any kind of advertising, but this is the kind of brand OK that you often find in this kind of shops. And so this is a grinder, and from the look of it you can already see that it is not using anything like burrs, but it's actually a blade grinder. It has a lock in place, which by just turning it you can extract that, and then it kind of here has where you would add your coffee. So what else is in the back? This is really, by all standards, this is a tiny brush that you can then use to clean out that chamber. That might get frustrating soon. You might want to use something more like a cloth or something like this. As I'm kind of doing this unboxing here, I just took a moist kitchen towel, and of course a dry one, so at least I can do a little bit of cleaning before I actually use it. At the very least, I'm not cutting myself through the kitchen paper, but we should do a test, ideally without bleeding, how sharp these blades are. So I'm applying a bit of pressure here, and I mean I can really put, you can see the imprints, you know. I can really put pressure, and it is not leading to blood. So again, it's budget, that might be expected. I ended up paying just short of 14 euros, 13.99, out of which here in Belgium 21% VAT, so that's 2.43 euros. In theory, because this is now a business, I should be able to recover that VAT at the very least, clearly, as I'm using it here to investigate what are your budget options. Now let's see, you know, I don't really need to see those instructions. Let me just kind of guide you through the process. I got here 14 grams of some high density Kenya beans, and when we add 14 grams, yes, I would say based on adding this 14 grams that there's probably space for around maybe 50 grams in general of coffee. Now generally people in the know would always recommend you to go for a burr grinder, and then depending on your preference, if you're into espresso, they might even advise a flat burr grinder, or the more common one is to have a conical burr grinder. Now as a first test, let's see if you're able to avoid cutting yourself. This will be tricky. This will be, we're all the way over here. Okay, I will have to rotate this a little bit so at least this is visible. Okay, this is good. This is a good safety, that when the cover is open, it's not actually possible to grind. And now you should actually time when you're grinding. Wow, okay. That is making a lot of noise. Now, generally, I would advise a little bit like roast action. You know, you just use your smell and kind of the hearing is listening is very important. You know, as soon as you stop hearing, let's say, anything really falling, then you can already feel the coffee. Again, if you really want to be safe, you will unplug this. Now it's still feeling coarser than salts, and you want to go, you know, we're doing just a Hario V60, you want to go for it actually starts to settle more as you're kind of getting finer, and I think this is about right. It definitely has a nice smell. So here we go for the first experiment. So I just prepared my Hario setup. Okay, just get the filter folded appropriately. We'll do a little bit of a preheat. Well, not a preheat, just sorry, we're back here just to clear the paper taste. All right. Yes, a bit of a mess I'm doing here. Okay, yes. So I just have these 2 cups here for illustration purposes. Let's see how easy we're able to pour this in. Okay, so a little bit of stuck below the grind. So one problem, and now this small brush is coming in handy. Doesn't matter how small it is, it does kind of help you to remove the grinds just by scraping a little bit on the sides. There we go. So it is a budget option, it's not supposed to be easy necessarily. So what happens with these blades, as you could hear, coffee is thrown all around. And then the very fine particles might start building up on the bottom. So let's see, can we actually, we're getting almost very, okay. So some of the particles will be perfectly sized, others will be way too small, and then others more appropriate for a French press. Ideally, you should already have a scale at home, and you know, the coffee geeks, they would go for at least 0.5 grams. Oh, okay, let me restart this. So we had 15 grams here, 15, forgot. So you should go to about double of that in water. Now, a reason for that is that coffee, roasted coffee, grounded, takes or is able to take twice its rate in water. So usually when you're just adding that double volume of water, some might already be dripping through, but it's basically giving a little bit of time for the carbon dioxide in the grout to dissolve in the water, bubble up, and then after half a minute that process is kind of done and you can start doing your regular brew. And the reason is that if you do this immediately, that bubbling off would lead to channeling where water is not getting an appropriate amount of time. So what I advise is to go to about 300 grams. So starting out with 15 grams, it means kind of having 50 grams for a liter of coffee. Usually it's recommended to 60 grams, but of course for a budget option I think that makes a little more sense, rounding that down. And for me at least, it always makes it easier to reason about, because I basically just double it and multiply by 10 to know how much water I actually want to add. And most of the time I find the body quite satisfying. There's also cultural differences for how much coffee you kind of want to have in your drink. So we're almost there, 299. Alright, just let's get those final drops. Now, if memory serves me well, this is looking to be a little bit lightly colored compared to usual brews, but we shouldn't judge this kind of process. I still of course have to see how the taste will be. I'm quite positive that the main thing, the most important thing, is having a quality coffee. Ideally, it's better to have cheaper devices rather than cheaper coffee. And if you have to also restrict your cost on coffee, let's say, I would then recommend that you still pay attention for having a fair coffee, let's say. So there's still a bit of water in there. I think the portion of coffee that was just too finely ground kind of restricted the flow through the coffee. So let's just see how I can or not can appreciate my own roasted coffee. I roasted this coffee this morning. I then had an espresso which was of very high acidity, which in the third wave of coffee one might appreciate it. It really has a high density. After roasting I went from 250 to 220, where a different bean, for example the Brazil that I have, would have gone even well towards 210, so there's kind of a little bit of a difference. The density was also still above 100, where the Brazil would have gone towards 90. All right. So I'm not making this a comparative study. This is clear, but this is an enjoyable cup. The coffee is just great quality. So this does look like a mess. I mean, this here even looks like it's chocolate or something. So that's quite peculiar. But the taste, there's a citrus that I had in the espresso as well. I kind of enjoy this coffee a lot more with the Hario rather than the espresso, which is just very sour. Although it was a good shot this morning. It's the good coffee acids. But yeah, there you go. Some coffees are more suitable to enjoy as filter, other as espresso. Now I'm giving this away. You know, I'm testing these budget options and then I'm giving it away. I already know who I'm giving it away to. That's not a problem. I am kind of curious if anybody has any kind of tax advice. So I buy this to be able to make these videos and inform you on my thoughts of this kind of devices. I think, you know, this is just a little more of 10 euros, and it allows you to work with fresh coffee. So you could even roast at home. For that kind of option, check out my videos on roasting coffee with a popcorn machine that you can buy for 20 euros. So in theory, with the popcorn machine and this, you're at a total cost of 30 euros. And if you already have a cup, you can, well, just do cupping, or then look out for something like a Hario V60 or an alternative, because you have many shops. You know, you basically just need something where you can put the filters in. So I will be on the lookout for more budget options in that department as well. But yes, I was wondering, as I kind of buy this without VAT when I'm just giving this away after making a video like this, do I need to register that somewhere? If you know this kind of information, let me know in the comments. Other than that, thanks for following this new sub-series. I hope it's useful to you. Yeah, if you would go for a manual grinder, and you know, if you go there for the very cheap ones, it's literally just a lot of work. Just ask Charles from the churchyard. He knows about the Hario Slim, and that one is already, I think, around 40 euros or something like this, which is still considered a budget option. It's able to give you grounds for espresso. That's not a problem, but it's a lot of hard work, literally. And so this is just 15 euros. You plug it in. I know there's videos out there with better techniques to use it. I guess, I don't know if for espresso, I don't know if I want to try it out for espresso. It makes more sense with this kind of filter setting, I think. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.